Welcome to another video from DIY Daily. Just got a short video tonight showing you how to carry out a basic engine service on this 2012 Volkswagen Polo. This one's a 1.6 TDI. We're going to be changing the oil filter, the air filter and the fuel filter. Just before we get into the video, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, you just click on the red subscribe button below to make sure you don't miss out on any future content. Just got a few basic checks to do, which is just check the coolant level is between the min and the max. We'll just top the screen washer fluid up. But to start with, we'll change the air filter. And the air filter is mounted inside this casing here. So you can just see, if we take these clips off either side, we've got some little TORX screws all the way around the outside. To start with, we'll get them off. We're going to run through the service and then we'll reset the service light at the end of the video. We're going to be using the Purflux air and fuel filter tonight in a UFI oil filter. But I'll put some links in the description below to all the part numbers and where you can get the bits from. I'll also put some links to all the tools used as well and where you can get them from. But the first thing we're going to do, we want a TORX 20 screwdriver. Then we're going to take out all 6 TORX screws holding the air filter housing on. So just all the way around the outside bit. So that's the old air filter out of the way. Now we've got the new filter. It just has 3 tabs in there that lock into the lid of the housing. So lift that out and you'll just be able to see where they guide into. Just simple twist and lock into place. We can refit the housing. So that's the air filter replaced. Quite a straightforward job on these. The next thing we're going to do is replace the fuel filter, which is under here. Just before I do that though, I'm just going to pop the dipstick out, take the oil cap off, and we'll just remove the engine cover. That just simply pops up. It's just on some little push-on clips. So that's the engine cover out of the way. While you've got the cover off, it's always just worth just having a quick look round where all your injectors are. There's all your fuel injectors. Just make sure there's no oil leaks or fuel leaks around there. Just make sure it's all nice and dry as well. So sometimes if the injectors blow on them, you end up with quite a bit of carbon around there. So, but we'll replace the fuel filter now. And to start with, we're just going to pull these 2 clips back. And we're just going to slide them along the pipe just so that we can work the pipe off. Well, they did come off really easy tonight, honest, to be fair. A lot of the time you have to pull that clip back separately from the rubber hoses. They normally get quite tight, but this one is serviced quite regular. If that does happen, you just want to pull that clip in, slide it back, and you just want a light grip on the rubber, twist it, and then it'll crack it off and you'll be able to pull it off. So, but once the pipes are off, just always put them where you can remember where they come off. I've just simply obviously split one that side so it's quite clear really. And then you just push these little tabs back. There's a couple around the outside, and we'll be able to pull the fuel filter up. So you see there's one there, on that side and on that side. There's a new fuel filter. I'll just simply pop that into place just till it clips under them tabs. So that's the full fuel filter replaced. Again, quite a straightforward job on those little Polos. Right, the next thing we're going to do is drop the engine oil out and change the engine oil and filter. And if you just look down this side, just here, there's a little plastic cap there. I'm going to show you with a touch of it, with a hex socket on the top of it. That's a cap for the oil filter. But all we're going to do, just to access it a little bit better, is just remove this little solenoid on top of it. And all you need to do is short a little flat screwdriver and just flick that in there, and then you can try and show you all on the camera down. Just simply just flick that solenoid out of the way, and then you can see the top of that a little bit better now. And what we're going to need to remove it is you want a 32mm socket. I've got these quite shallow little sockets which are quite handy. I'll put a link in the description below to where you can get them from. And if you get that through there, it just sits nicely on top of the oil filter housing cap now. But we'll take that out. We're not going to actually swap the filter over yet. All we're going to do is just take the old filter out, just so it allows all the old oil to drain out better before we drop it. So I'll just take that cap off and get the filter out quick. The old filter out. There's a little bit tight in that gap, but it does come out. You just push the hoses just a little bit to the side, that's all. Now, so I'm just going to pop the old filter off. What you want to do is grab hold of the casing, just work it a bit, a little bit tight, and then just leave the casing upside down just while we drop the oil out. And I'll show you how to swap the filter and the seals over in a minute. But for now, we'll get the vehicle up in the air and drop the old oil out. So now the vehicle's up in the air, just going to have to take the under tray down. We'll just show you around the outside. We've got a load of little TORX screws, I think the TORX 20s again, all the way around the outside. There's 9 of them in total, so we'll get the under tray down. They're actually a, just check quick, they're actually a TORX 25 socket. So now that the under tray is off and we can see underneath a bit better, we've got the sump at the front here. It does have like a protective guard over it there, but if you just come round the back, you can just see a little sump plug on the back there, and you're going to want a 19mm socket and a ratchet, so we can crack that off and we'll drop the old oil out. So here's the old sump plug. These Volkswagens have a washer that's actually built onto the plug, so you can't, if you need to replace it, you just need to fit a new sump plug, which I would sometimes do, but this one doesn't look too bad tonight, so we're just going to refit that. But I'll give the oil 5 minutes to drain out, and then we'll refit the sump plug, and I'll let you know the torque setting as well. So the engine oil's drained for about 5 minutes now. I'm just going to refit the sump plug, and the proper torque setting is 30 Newton meters. I haven't got a torque wrench to do it with tonight. I'm quite happy to do it by hand. I've sort of got a rough idea and a feel for it, but it's just a good nip really. Doesn't need to be too tight. It's an alloy sump, so. We're just going to give that a quick wash off now, and then we'll drop the vehicle down, get the filter swapped over. I'm not going to put the under tray back on yet, because once we run it up, we'll just check make sure everything's sealed up. Just give it a quick wash off with some brake cleaner. Right, so we're going to swap the filter over now. The new seal kit comes with these 3 O-ring seals in there, and what we're going to use a little pick, and I'll put a link in the description to one of these, literally like a pick 6, they're quite handy, and you just need to get underneath the seal, Just take note as well, before you take your seal off, just take note of what ridge it's on, because there is a couple of ridges you could fit it on, so just take note of where you fitted that. And just flip the all the seals off. I'll just put this one back on before I do the rest. Run it into the lip there, and just guide it around the rest of the filter. And just run a little bit of oil around the seal as well, just to make sure it goes in nicely. And do the same with the other two seals on the top. So it does, you just want to pop your oil filter in. It does actually, you can't really tell looking at it, but it does only fit one way. One way's got a solid ridge there, and the other way's got a little gap underneath it. So you'll know if you've got it the wrong way. If you put it, that's the wrong way, it won't clip into place. But if you put it on the right way, you'll just feel it just clips nicely into place there. And now that that's done, we'll refit it back into the housing, and the torque setting's 25 Newton meters. Again, I'm not going to use a torque wrench, but it is quite a light nip. Don't need to be too tight. And we'll just wash that off with a bit of brake cleaner. Just makes it easier to check it afterwards. Just make sure it's not leaking. Doesn't happen very often, but you can split the seals when you're putting it back in, so just need to make sure that's sealed up. Once that's back on, just remember to clip your solenoid back into place. We'll just get some engine oil in it now. These take 4.3 litres of 5W30 fully synthetic oil. So now that I've got some oil in there, all I'm going to do is just put the cap back on. And I'm just going to strike it up, just leave it running for 10-15 seconds, then turn it off, and then we'll leave it to set for 5 minutes, and then we'll check the oil level. Just forgot to say, because you've had the fuel filter off, sometimes it can take a little while to start it. It might take you cranking it quite a few times. If you have a lot of trouble, a little tip, sometimes I might have to try it, is just take the little hose off there, and you can use some easy start or a bit of mist in the brake cleaner just to give it a little sniff in there. That sometimes just help it get it going, but normally just cranking it for a while will get it started up. But we just left it running for 15 seconds. We're going to leave it to set for 5 minutes now, then we'll check the oil level. Now that 5 minutes has passed, I'll just check the oil level. So you pull the dipstick out and just wipe it off. And just simply get on there. Let's try on the camera. The little dot there is your minimum, and the dot at the top there is your maximum. So just dip that. And just see that's that just below the max there. This is about bang on to where I like it. I really like it anywhere between half and the max, so I'm happy with that. So you just pop your dipstick back in. So that's the basic engine service complete. All I'm going to do now is just strike it up, leave the engine running for 5-10 minutes. I'll have a good look around the fuel filter pipes, just make sure they're not leaking. just check around the oil filter housing there, the cap, make sure that's not leaking. Pop it up in the air, just have a look around the sump plug, make sure it's all nicely sealed up. And then all we'll have to do is just put the engine cover on. That's the basic engine service complete. I'll just go on to reset the service light now, but if you check the next video coming up, it'll show you how to reset the service light for the Polo as well. But yeah, put links in the description below to all the parts used and all the tools. Just check them out. But yeah, hope the video helped. If it did, give it a quick thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.